hey, mom or dad, I really hope the communist Chinese defeat America economically. Oh, really, son? You're nuts. What is the claim that an increasing number of people are making in the white sympathetic sphere about the war with Russia? The idea here is that if the anti-white oligarchs are at physical war or economic war, trade war, whatever it is, and they lose in their contest with communist China, Russia, led by what everyone in the West has come to believe the vast majority is a totally insane man in the form of Vladimir Putin. And of course, what everyone believes in the West is an entire hierarchy of insanity in Iran. If the United States, if this anti-white cabal, the UK, etc., is defeated in any sort of contest, that a defeat means a loss of power for the United States, for the anti-white cabal. They very often will refer to it as like the Judeo anti-white United States or Zionist anti-white United States, these sorts of things. So that a defeat means that somehow the United States, the anti-white cabal, is weakened, although they can't articulate how. And this is where I say it really seems to come out of the video game playing age. It's like there is some sort of invisible power bar that is lowered by some defeat, economic defeat or militaristic defeat, is lowered, and then somehow it makes the anti-whites within the United States, within Canada, within the UK, weaker vis-a-vis those who care about the white race. Therefore, when the anti-whites go to censor or victimize us in some way, shape, or form, those who care about the white race, that they inflict fewer hit points. This is right out of the video game age. These people cannot articulate how the United States or Canada or whatever is weakened by a defeat economically, with economic defeat from communist China, militaristic defeat by crazy Russia, or international in some shape or form defeat by way of Iran. They can't articulate how that weakens. They just say, you just have to accept it. No, you don't accept it. And then the second thing they can't articulate is how that weakening that they can't prove somehow translates into a weakening of the anti-whites within our countries, and therefore they are less able to inflict injury on those who care about the white race and Western kind. This is nonsense. Their claim, the people who are making this sort of claim some intangible benefit. This is not the way that white people think. This is not the way that white people do science. This is not the way that white people went to the moon. This is not the way that white people created the Industrial Revolution. This is not the way that white people have defeated all things that sought to defeat us. There'll be some sort of intangible benefit that will accrue to us. There'll be some sort of intangible weakening on a geopolitical stage, which will translate somehow, God of the gaps, to an intangible weakening of anti-whites within our countries, which will somehow, in an intangible way, mean that they won't be able to victimize us as much. Seriously? How is this a thought that is circulating in the white sympathetic sphere? It is asinine. You know what is tangible, though? When you go out and you tell your friends, family, and strangers that you support psychotic Russia and you hope Russia beats the United States or Canada or the UK, when you go out and you tell your friends, family, and strangers that you hope communist China dominates the United States or Canada or the UK, whatever it is, economically, when you go out and you say you support Iran in its contest with the United States or whatever, you burn your reputation and you make them hate you. You make them think you're insane. And then they won't listen to anything you have to say about your concerns for our people. So you have this intangible claim about this, well, the US will be weakened by a defeat on the battlefield somehow, and then somehow that translates to a weakening of anti-whites inside our civilization. And then somehow, by a way you can't articulate, intangibly, we are less victimized by anti-whites. Somehow, some way. That is what people are investing themselves in, rather than the very tangible, hey, mom or dad, I really hope the communist Chinese defeat America economically. Oh, really, son? You're nuts. Oh, really, son? Why would you want that? That would destroy the economy here. Well, I really hope, friend at work, colleague at work, that Russia crushes the United States on the battlefield in Ukraine. Oh, really? That person's insane. I've heard from every news source that the leader over there is insane, and the Ukrainian people are all innocent and all holding babies while they're being murdered. So you are clearly insane. So there's a very tangible harm that is accrued to our advocates when they say that they want the United States to be defeated in one of these venues. A very tangible lessening of our ability to advocate for white well-being. So, simply, do not hold the erroneous and illogical position that if the United States is defeated economically by China or pushed around on the global stage somehow by Iran or defeated in Ukraine by Russia, that your life, that our well-being somehow is empowered by that. It is illogical. There is no, it's a non sequitur. There is no connection between that and where we are. And you, on the other side, absolutely make it harder for us to advocate, specifically for you to advocate for white well-being, because you have burnt your reputation on an idiotic idea. An idea, by the way, an opinion that you don't have to give ever. And you never should. If you actually hold that opinion, you should never tell anyone. Never tell anybody that you want Russia to win, because all you're doing is ruining your ability, I'm going to have to say it 100 times, to get those same people to heed your concerns about the white race. Now, the only other thing to say to that is the people that are spreading this nonsense might say to you, well, if the United States, and then this is how they go to these grand hyperbolic hypotheticals, when this is what a not so intelligent midwit will do. These hyperbolic hypotheticals. Well, if the United States is embroiled in war with, say, the communist Chinese and Russia, and it's sucking all the money out, and it's absolutely, that would decrease the power of the United States. You know who else's power it would decrease? Yours. You see, if the currency loses all of its value, that's your currency. And what, by the way, pray tell, do you think these governments will do in wartime to control their populations? What kind of things become acceptable in wartime to prevent insurgent endeavors within these countries of the West? Well, it's called shot dead right on the spot. So things do not get better for us by making the countries that we live in fall to ruin and ash. This is the idea ultimately of worse is better, and worse is never better, because it could never get as worse or as bad as it has for us in South Africa. And it didn't get better. You need a method to push back against the psychological warfare waged against us. We have that with the Go Free method. Now, if every one of our brothers and sisters had, just prior to, I guess you could sit it anywhere in the timeline in our once great country of South Africa, adopted the Go Free method, well, then it wouldn't have had to get worse for things to get better. Things would have started getting better right away. So please, if you were one of the people that were holding this position and you were going out and telling people that you hope Russia wins, stop immediately before no one will listen to you. and they all are behind your back saying he wears a tinfoil hat.